So in terms of relationships at Twin Oaks, we have a variety of styles. We have single celibate people, we have monogamous partners, some of whom are married, some of whom are not legally married but are life partners. We have people who just serially date other people, you know, one after another. We have people in open relationships, polyamorous relationships, who have a relationship with more than one person at a time. So like many things here, it's really up to the individual, and you can choose, you know, the relationship style that you're interested in at that time in your life and with the people that are around you. And for me, I really appreciate that sort of openness and almost relaxation of norms from the mainstream. Another thing that I find is that sexuality at Twin Oaks can be fairly fluid. And people come here sort of strongly identifying as, you know, maybe gay or straight or whatever, and they come here and again, things are a little looser and they realize maybe I would want to try something else. And here is a space for them to be able to do that. And it's not so much of a, it's certainly not stigmatized like it is out there. But at the same time, you're also not, like once you try something and it runs its natural course, and it's okay to try something else, just like I'm saying. Very sort of, you can try this, try that, and see how it works for you. It's just a place of experimentation in the relationship realm, in the intimate relationship realm in particular, it can be. Also, when I think about relationships at Twin Oaks, I think about how that interacts with our value of egalitarianism, and basically we treat every adult member here as an individual adult human and not as sort of one half or one part of a couple or a relationship. And that's important to me just on a general values level, but it also frees us up from, again, sort of especially historic mainstream gender issues. For example, we each get everything we need from the community. All our basic needs are met by the community. In addition to that, we each get some spending money each month. And so a person's economic status is not linked to the relationship and who they're involved with, whether that person makes a lot of money, who's doing the domestic work and who's doing the income work. For us, it's all mixed up, and each member is an independent person in their right in that way. And that just cuts through a lot of, you know, gender problems at Twin Oaks. You know, equal pay for work of equal value, it's just not even an issue here, and I really appreciate that. Also, in terms of sort of traditional and mainstream reinforcements for certain relationship choices. You know, out there, sort of the primo relationship choice is, you know, you're married to a person of the other opposite gender, and here it's just, you know, you can be in any form of relationship. Out there, if you are in that more traditional relationship, you get all kinds of benefits and positive reinforcement. You get tax breaks, you get social appreciation and approval, and here again we just sidestep all of that, and it's just not an issue. And I really appreciate that that's part of the culture that we're creating at Twin Oaks. In terms of living arrangements and couples here or people in relationship with each other, again, like many things, it's personal choice. It really varies. Some people have a bedroom right next to each other, and sort of each member who lives here, each adult has their own official bedroom, but between couples or, you know, relationship people, they can do whatever they want. They could have two individual bedrooms. One room could be the bedroom, one could be the study or whatever. Just people can make their own arrangements. So for some people, they really do want that, you know, closeness, and they'll live in the same residence, they'll live right beside each other. It's essentially their sort of a little two-bedroom, you know, close-knit housing situation. And other people consciously choose to not live in the same residence, even people who've been in a relationship for some length of time. And I think that makes me think of this analogy of, it's a Khalil Gibran poem, I think, about two trees standing next to each other. And the branches are intertwined and the roots are intertwined, but there's space between the two. And for some people, that's important that they maintain sort of a sense of self, and that may mean a you know, physical sense of self away from their partner sometimes. They need their own space to live and grow and consider and all that. And so Twin Oaks allows that to happen easily. It can fit right into our system. It's just up to what your particular preference is. So in terms of children at Twin Oaks, basically we have about 100 adults living here, 90 or 100. We have some people who love kids, wish we had lots of kids like on a kibbutz. We have some people who either just aren't into kids, or they've already raised their kids and they're over it or whatever. So like many things at Twin Oaks, we have this group and this group, and they come together and we choose something in the middle. And so in the case of children here, again, people on both ends, and we end up with a policy that we have a 1-to-5 ratio, one child for every 5 adults who lives here. What that means is we usually more or less have about 15 kids living here from, you know, 0 to age 18. And child raising is one of the things that's, actually it is the thing that's changed the most at Twin Oaks over its 41-year history, I would say. In the beginning, we were founded on the principles of B.F. Skinner. His idea was the parents don't raise a child, it's the community that raises a child. So once a child was weaned from its mother, it would go and live in a kids building. There was 24-hour-a-day childcare. Community members who wanted to be involved with the kids program would live there and teach them and stay with them and all that kind of thing. And it wasn't too long before the parents who lived here realized, actually, I do want to raise my own child, thank you very much. And at that time, we shifted somewhat so that the kids spent the daytime in this collective child care situation, but then in the evenings and at night they'd go and they'd have a room in the same residence as their parents, and they'd go and be with them, much more connected on a family level. That was how it was for a long, long time, decades at Twin Oaks. And then maybe between 5 and 10 years ago, the parents here at the time realized they wanted to be even more involved in their day-to-day child's lives. And so then it switched to the parents just had the kids with them all the time, and they could make informal arrangements if they wanted. The kids would be working alongside the adults, or they'd be doing homeschooling activities. Sometimes the kids would go to public school. But so again, just from sort of beginning to current time in history of Twin Oaks, it's almost a 180. So in terms of raising a child at Twin Oaks, of course, it's a wonderful place to raise a child. It's all this outdoor space. It's a safe, nonviolent environment. Many people interacting with your child, helping them develop all kinds of skills as, each individual person applies their own interests. Our kids tend to be pretty verbal, pretty interactive oriented. They have lots of attention, and that's what you want to raise a child in an enriched environment. I think the difficult side for parents is sometimes you have, 80 or 90 other pairs of eyes assessing your child caring, your child raising, choices, and that can feel like a little bit like you're under the microscope, and, no one enjoys that feeling generally. And that's been a sort of a long-term difficulty, I think, that parents have sometimes experienced. So it's all about trade-offs.